Hello, my name is Michael Schollenbeck from the UC Berkeley Public Health Library. Welcome to the first in a series of library modules to introduce you to the resources available to you. I'll just be scratching the surface here. It's expected that you'll go back to the OOMPH web page on your own for a more thorough exploration. I'm starting here at the Public Health Library's home page, but I'm going to go to the OOMPH page. Both of these URLs are on the email that you received. And you'll notice the URL for this page is here, where I've highlighted, as well as a link to contact me, which I hope you do if you have questions. In this first session, I'll talk about how to think about your research topic, as well as some of the databases you might use to find articles and more. So I'm going to click on this anchor that says before you start and flip down here. So before you start searching PubMed or another database, let's go over some ways to think about your topic. Getting at the root of public health issues often involves more than just a narrow focus of the problem at hand. UC Berkeley's School of Public Health is known for this approach, sometimes called the ecological approach to public health. You don't necessarily need to address every possible relevant factor in your research, but you do need to understand public health issues are complicated. And some of this text explains this a little bit, about the causes of disease. What causes disease? Also, think about your topic and its researchability. Is it too narrow, too broad? Are you able to find stuff on it? So I've put here 3 topics, and you can decide which one you think is the most likely researchable topic. What is the scope of your research? Thinking about this helps you decide where to look for articles, and also it helps you determine when you're done, keeping your question in mind both when formulating a search strategy. In other words, are the words I'm putting in this search box really my topic? And when reviewing the articles you find, does this article really address my topic? Will help you determine the relevance of what you find. Finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about indexing. So indexing means that articles in databases like PubMed, for example, use what's called a controlled vocabulary, which is not a phrase you have to remember. But basically it means they use a finite set of terms used to describe articles in the database. A given article could have 5, 10, 20 terms, but knowing these terms and searching on them helps provide uniformity and consistency to your searching. So you only need to search on a term. So when your concept might be a little vague, like labor versus labor or labor, having the correct index term could help you hone in on your search. Keep in mind that articles are indexed at the narrowest appropriate level generally. So think of your topic narrowly and try to find the terms relevant for that. These index terms are sometimes called descriptors or thesaurus terms. In PubMed, they are called medical subject headings or MESH. And I'll talk about this a little bit more in the database section that I'll start in a second, but just know though that not all these databases use these controlled vocabularies. So PubMed. Many of you have probably used PubMed before. PubMed is a database of millions of citations on medical and health topics. And here's my top tips for searching PubMed effectively. And you can read these on your own, and each one of these is explored a little bit more by links below. There's also a link here to a PubMed quick guide with some basic search help and some exercises that you can take some time to do and become an expert searcher. Now, so I'm going to scroll through these PubMed tips. There's also some links to some online tutorials and such. Now, PubMed is great, but you'll likely need to go beyond PubMed for your public health research. I've listed here just a sampling of the top databases used for public health research. Let me scroll through this list. Now, each one of these that I've listed here, I have a brief annotation as to the scope of the subject matter, whether they do or do not use a controlled vocabulary, and how to get at it. So here you see that for this particular database. I also included a little bit of text on the kind of subjects or concepts that are not necessarily well covered in PubMed that might be helpful for you, depending on your topic. In addition, most of these links here will have a link to some kind of help guide, and some of them also include links to exercises that you can try on your own. Now, these are just a sample of many databases available for you to find articles and other kinds of citations. We have a page called Indexes and Databases that lists about 70 more of these kinds of databases. And within these databases, next to every citation, you'll see a UCE links icon. Clicking this link will take you to the full text of the article or whatever that you find in the database. And if it's not available online, we will have a link to the library catalog so you can see if this is available either on campus or at a library near you. Here are some links to the library catalogs here. You can go to directly, including a 1-minute video on how to limit your searches in the library catalog, the search results to show libraries near you that have the item that you're finding. I've also included a few links here to sources of systematic reviews. Systematic reviews are evidence-based evaluations of research and interventions. And here's just a few of them for you to explore. All of these are highly recommended. Finally, I have a link to some sources of what's called gray literature, which generally refers to publications not produced by commercial publishers. Generally, they're unpublished reports, government reports, technical reports produced by NGOs, think tanks, and such. And just because something's not published in a journal doesn't mean it's not good research. So you might want to check out some of these. And in fact, good old search engines like Google are good to find this kind of literature, especially if you use some of these Google searching tips that I've added here that will make your web searching more effective.